Hi there.
Hi there,
I'm Mr. Cotton,
I'm Mr. Gardner.
and in this video, Mr. Gardner is going to show me how to make a Photoshop composite image, an idea of which we have stolen directly from Woodsy Man's YouTube channel, which is ever popular, and you should like and subscribe to that one after having liked and subscribed to this channel.
Yeah, the idea is we're going to make a frog apple or a frapple. So there are 5 things we're going to do. We're going to open 2 images, use the Lasso Tool, copy and paste, change the opacity and use free transform, and then use the eraser to finish off.
Okay.
So first of all, opening 2 images. This is Photoshop CS4. Other versions are available. And to open an image, go to the File menu at the top of the screen and choose Open.
Okay.
First of all, open the apple by finding the apple and pressing Open.
Easy.
And then do exactly the same thing for the frog. File, Open.
Frog, open.
Now it looks like the apple's disappeared. Don't panic. If you look at the top of the screen, there are 2 tabs with the 2 pictures open at the same time.
Okay.
So on the frog image, if you choose the Lasso Tool, looks like a cowboy rodeo lasso, then just draw around the face of the frog. And this can be quite crude. You don't need to be accurate yet. That will come with the eraser later on.
That was pretty accurate anyway, though. Look at that.
And that's selected an area of the picture, which we can now copy from the Edit menu.
Edit, copy.
Now switch back to the Apple picture, the other tab, and Edit, paste.
Edit, paste.
There we go. Well, that's a frog and an apple. Done. Well, we'll make it a bit better. So the first thing we're going to do is reposition the frog's head.
All right.
So before we get carried away, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there are now 2 layers in this image, the background layer of the apple and layer 1, which is the frog's head. If you make sure layer 1 is selected and is blue, you can change its opacity, its see-throughness. So if you bring that down to about 65 or so, you'll be able to see through the frog's face.
66, even better.
Now, we can move him with the Move tool, but we really want to make him a bit smaller. To do that, there is a free transform tool from the Edit menu. So if you just go up to the Edit menu.
Oh, silly. Need to select the layer, you idiot.
There you go.
Edit,
And
free transform, Control T, there we go.
Gives you the little boxes in the corners.
So you can just drag it down?
Just make it a bit smaller. And what we're trying to do is get it to line up with the top of the apple.
So maybe like...
No, we'll go a bit bigger than that, maybe.
There?
Yeah, and he's a bit... The proportions maybe a bit squished. But no, that's good.
Yeah. How could, you know, could have held Shift down, I gather.
You could, to keep the proportions the same. And if you're happy with the transformation, then you can just click somewhere else and it'll say, are you sure? Yes.
Okay, yes, I like that. Okay, fine.
Now use the Move tool to position it so it lines up with the apple. So there you go, get the curve on there.
Is that about right?
Something like that will work. Yeah, looks good. And now if we put the opacity back up to 100, then we've got the 2 layers in full effect. Now what we're going to do is remove the bits of the frog's face we don't want with the eraser.
Right.
So the eraser tool is on the toolbar on the left. It looks a bit like an eraser. And before you get carried away, if you make sure you're on layer 1 and then change some brush settings up the top.
Oh yeah, okay.
Now you can change the diameter, and I think if you make the brush a bit bigger, maybe around 40 something, then you're going to find it less time consuming to rub out. And if you change the hardness from 100% right down to 0, you'll get a lovely soft airbrush edge as you do your erasing.
Sounds good.
Which will blend in nicely.
Okay, so just click out of that.
Now you can click away and get erasing.
All right, so
we can get rid of his mouth. We want to keep his like nose and his eyes really, and then you're going to try and blend around the eyes.
What, like that? Get rid of that bit there.
Like the apple skin and the frog skin are kind of one thing.
So like around here.
Yeah. And this works quite well because the colour of the frog skin and the colour of the apple skin are so similar.
I think I'd like to zoom in a bit closer.
Okay, go for it. So up at the top of the screen, there's a 100% drop-down menu, and you could change that up to 200. There are other ways to do this with a magnifying glass and so on. But
yeah, that's better. I see I've got more control now.
Yeah,
wasn't happy about that earlier.
And you could change the size of your brush for something a bit smaller, but for the sake of our little tutorial here, this should be good enough.
See what I mean about the smooth edge now?
Yeah, the softness or the latter
smooth,
part.
Yeah, smooth, yeah. So there we go.
I reckon if you pop that back to 100%, we might have something quite convincing. There you go. You could have taken a bit more care, but actually, that's not a bad frapple.
No, it's not bad. Thanks very much for showing me how to do that.
That's no problem.